I believe that religion today stands at the crossroads of science and mythology. As more and more people become aware that myths merely point to a truth, but can never be truth itself. As this is becoming more and more absorbed in our realities, in our consciousness, we're beginning to experience a restoration of the natural world to its sacred status. In the Emersonian sense that the stars light the universe with their admonishing smile, the natural world becomes the sacred text that teaches us how we must live as spiritual beings. Just imagine the natural world as a text, a sacred text that can teach us. And so wonder plays a huge part in how we relate to the earth. I personally feel very strongly that at this time in history, it's indeed an optimal moment for Unitarian Universalist growth, as long as we don't continue bad habits like shutting out wonder. Oh, we can't have any of that wonder. Religious liberals trying to snuff out wonder as an archaic religious relic, kind of like dousing a fire with an extinguisher. Religious liberals, particularly Unitarian Universalists, must accept wonder because not all splendor can be named. I believe emphatically that we make a huge mistake by tossing the creation story aside and replacing it exclusively with science. Thomas Berry offers a story, a new creation narrative, where wonder is absolutely pivotal. Through this story, we gain new insights how every component of the universe is integral with every other member of the universe community. So rather than exhibiting defiance towards the natural world, we finally come to understand reverence and bring reverence to the table that forms our understanding. The new creation narrative became available to us through empirical inquiry into the origin, structure, and sequence of transformations in the universe. It opens the door to wonder, which is precisely what new people, younger people are seeking in their endeavor to find a religious home. How do we feel at home in the vastness of this universe? The role of religion at this point in time is to underscore a larger vision of our place and purpose through understanding our relationship with a planet of finite resources. Unitarian Universalism is well poised to lead the spirit of a new generation into a greater reverence for what is, and then also provide an ethical mandate for how to preserve and sustain that which is sacred. Human consumption and Earth's limits, human consumption, Earth limits, are on a collision course. A new religious imagination needs to guide and help us identify the interconnectedness within the web of all existence. You know, the deeply ingrained notion of self-sufficiency reinforces our alienation from the sacred community, the entire natural world. So the future, as only Thomas Berry could see so clearly. The future requires a transition from theology to cosmology. We're now at the point where theology really doesn't help us or serve us. We don't need it. We've got to transition to something new. We've got to go from theology to cosmology. So is it as obvious to you as it is to me that our struggling denomination is better suited to address the spiritual needs of this young century than any of the traditional religions steeped in the dogmatic rigors of identifying one pre-scientific truth as binding for all times? Unitarian Universalism can embrace a new narrative for the modern age while cherishing reverence and wonder. Again, this transition from theology to cosmology would require a new approach to an ethical system that emphasizes the integrity of the natural world as a condition for integrity of the inner spiritual world, which is ours. Our UU leadership in Boston needs to figure this out. They need to connect the dots and understand that we as a denomination are poised to lead precisely this transition from theology to cosmology. And in the process, we must hold on to wonder as the pivotal sensibility that will guide us. We can never afford to lose this gift of wonder. The interconnectedness and interrelatedness of Earth's ecosystems are simply inescapably tied to wonder, and thus they beckon our reverence. Now, we can witness the wondrous harmony of life's interconnections once we stop long enough to realize that the melting polar ice caps due to global warming will affect the erosion of sandy beaches in Florida. Our immoral neglect of carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere means that as the ice cap melts, wheat farmers in Kansas will feel the effect. We are so linked, personally and naturally. Kansas will become 4 degrees warmer in the winter without the ice cover of the Arctic. Warm winters are bad news for wheat farmers who need freezing temperatures to grow wheat in the winter. Warm summers would rob Kansas soil of 10% of their moisture, drying out valuable cropland. This would then lead to food shortages, and the downward spiral of effects will play themselves out. So it's not just the cute polar bear who needs the Arctic ice. Every one of us does, from Ethiopia to China to America, because we are all so interconnected. I am rapt with wonder as I contemplate Earth as a living organism, a complex, self-organizing system with the capacity to maintain the delicate conditions of life, at least until we came along. The old thinking was that the Earth was merely a ball out there. It was merely a platform. It was just kind of a square footage area in which life could exist. But in fact, the Earth as a living organism has continuously adapted. The Earth itself has adapted in order to preserve life. By drawing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere through photosynthesis, Earth altered the composition of its atmosphere to keep itself cool as the sun grew progressively hotter. Earth wants to teach us the powerful gift of adapting, for this is the only way that life can be perpetuated. Every single element of the universe is aligned with the stars, including us, situated in one lonely corner of the cosmos. Indeed, we are stardust. Every single atom in your body, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your genes, the iron in your blood, the gold in your fillings, was created in a star billions of years ago. O star of wonder, be it shining over Bethlehem, Moscow, Addis Ababa, the Arctic, Salt Lake City, it is wonder that sustains us. Stars, smiles, melodies, love. Wonder surrounds us and reminds us that we are not alone in the universe. Envoys of beauty, we bathe in thy